Right on.
All right, here we
All right, commissioners, you ready?
Yep.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call our meeting to order and ask Dave to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dave. All right, let's move on to roll call.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Pat Farswell.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I am here. And item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence?
Yes, we do. We received a letter from Jerry Ovendorf regarding the 44th Annual Oyster Fest. Received notice of cannabis license application from Purple Farms LLC and Rockstar Farms LLC. Received local authority renewal notice from Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board. Received letter from PUD3 regarding Mason County .09 funding request. Received scheduled power outage notice from PUD1. Received letters from the Federal Energy Regulation Commission regarding Cushman No. 1 debris removal ramp construction, Cushman project, and annual dam safety inspection follow-up. Comments numbers 3 and 4, Cushman project.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And we'll move on to item number 5. This is the time we set aside for citizen input. We have a 15-minute time limit, 3 minutes per person, and we ask that you state your name and where you're from. Would anyone like to, come on up to the podium.
Good morning, I'm Carol Simpson and I live on Wynwood Drive. And a month ago, several of us came down here. We were all pretty desperate. We were having an issue in our neighborhood. And I don't know what everybody in Mason County did, but we want to thank all of you because at this point anyway, for the last month since we were here, we have our neighborhood back. It's peaceful and it's quiet. And it's amazing. It's beautiful and we're free to do what we want again. Thank you all, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and taking care of our problem. Thank you.
No, thank you for bringing it to us. Thank you. Do we have anyone else that would like to say anything? All right, do we have anybody in our Zoom room that would like to address the commission? All right. There we go. Let's move on to item number 6, adoption of agenda.
Madam Chair, I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of September 16th, 2025 regular minutes and the September 22nd, 2025 briefing minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the September 16th, 2025 regular minutes and the September 22nd, 2025 briefing minutes. Any discussion? I will call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Moving on to item number 8. Man, we are zipping. This is cool. This is the time we read through our action agenda. Items can be removed for separate discussion and vote. Commissioner Netherland, if you could take 8.1 through 8.3. Commissioner Tarswell, 8.4 through 8.6, and I'll take the remainder.
Happily, Madam Chair. Item number 8.1 reads, approval of warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance. Claims, clearing fund, warrants number 8115382 through 8115828. The amount, $1,655,152.52. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 119771 through 120176. The amount, $988,085.51. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7009174 through 7009200. The amount, $640,171.95. Item number 8.2 reads, approval of the resolution updating Mason County Revenue Cash Handling Policy and Procedures, replacing resolution number 56-19. Item number 8.3, approval of the resolution canceling outstanding warrants not presented within 1 year of their issue.
Item 8.4, approval of the Washington State Conservation Commission contract for the Voluntary Stewardship Program, VSP, Amendment Number 1, in the amount of $40,000, and Amendment Number 2 in the amount of $105,000 to contract number K2620 for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027, and approval of Amendment Number 6 to the interlocal agreement 19-053 with Mason Conservation District, serving as the lead entity for the VSP contract. Item number 8.5, approval of the letter of support for Peninsula Alliance's Thurston Mason Development Disabilities Community Grant Project. Item 8.6, approval of the Healthcare Authority contract for law enforcement assisted diversion lead program for the amount of $989,055.
Item 8.7, approval of the amendment to Shelton Family Center, DBA Youth Connection, Professional Services Contract Number 25-032 to clarify housing-related requirements. Item 8.8, approval to set a public hearing on October 28th, 2025 at 9:15 to take public comment on the withdrawal of identified Squaxin Island Tribe parcels from the South Mason Fire and Rescue District. Item 8.9, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 9:15 a.m. to take public testimony and consider amendments to Mason County Code Chapter 5.18, temporary outdoor public events, and to deliberate and vote on said amendments. Commissioners, having read through the action agenda, are there any items you would like to be removed for separate discussion or vote?
No, ma'am.
No? Anyone in the audience like anything removed for separate discussion or vote? Anyone in the Zoom room want anything removed for separate discussion or vote? All right, hearing none.
Madam Chair, I move for adoption of the action agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the action agenda. Any discussion? No? Man, we are moving very fast on this. And I will not bore anybody and not remove anything. I do want to thank everybody for all the, and remind everybody that if you want to hear the guts of what's going on, or the stories behind the action agenda, I guess, attend our briefings. Listen to them. They're recorded by our very favorite Diedrich. And and so if you have any questions or comments,
He
take
is
a
our
look at
favorite
those.
Dietrich.
He is, absolutely. All right, I am going to call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission or say anything in this meeting? I see a nod. What? I don't have to call on you, embarrass you?
Sure. So, Dave Wyndham, Mason County Public Health and Human Services. Just to let the commission know, our mobile unit has arrived. So it's been over a year in the process of going through to get the unit. Our original quotes were looking at $325,000 as a floor. We got the unit for $209,000 with only 3,200 miles on it. It's like brand new, never used. So right now it's going through the process of getting new wrap on it. And once the wrap is finished, we'll get it out of the road. It gives us the ability to, first of all, replace our RV that we were using. That's actually, we had to haul it off to the junkyard. So we're replacing that. It'll give us the opportunity to take public health out of the office and onto the road, get it out in the community. So it's got vaccine storage, it's got an exam room, 2 exam rooms actually. And it'll give us the ability to go out and do things for the senior citizens, things, we take WIC on the road, there's any number of things that we'll be doing with it. So we got it for a good price and it's got great utility. So we'll have it here for an open house once we get the wrap on it and let everybody take a tour.
Pretty cool. It'll be nice to have a place for a WIC
Yeah.
to go on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Dave?
Yep. Good.
Okay. Anyone else in the room? All right, anybody in the Zoom room? Wow, you guys are making it so easy today. I'm liking this. I could pick on Ian though. Just because you're sitting here. All right, let's move on. Well, we do not have any public hearings this morning. So we'll move on to board calendars and reports. Commissioner Tarsville, Commissioner Netherland, and then I'll follow.
Okay, let's see. I have finally an appointment for a kidney doctor on Thursday, so I'll be out in the morning. And then we have a executive committee meeting for the EDC. I've got another one, but don't know this. This one we may be at, it's a community conflict resolution open house. I have it as tentative, so I'm not sure. Then I will, I plan to attend the sheriff's lunch out at Hoodsport. I haven't been able to make it out to that one yet, so I'm looking forward to that. And then Saturday, we will be at Oyster Fest. We have a America 250 booth, so I'm just one of the volunteers helping out with that. Then next Monday, we have our briefing. There'll be a WASAC virtual assembly that two of us might be attending. Next Tuesday, I have a fire district meeting at Fire District 17, which is up in Lillywop. I tend to go out there and see what's happening with them. Next Wednesday, I have a number of things. We have a criminal justice working team at 7:30. We have a special meeting. Well, I've got 6 listed on next Wednesday. I'm not even going to go into that list. There's quite a few meetings next Wednesday. That probably much covers it for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so I've got a meeting with some folks down in South Shore about their ability to be able to put septics in and what they have to do. So I'm going to go meet with them. They've asked me to come out there. Rotary meeting, Port of Allen, Law Enforcement Firefighter Board, Pioneer Kiwanis has asked me to come out and speak with them. Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority. The realtors are having a housing and issues thing in a few weeks. I'm going to try and also attend the sheriff's luncheon. MTA has a board composition meeting. Met with a few city folks out there to looking at some of the different options for partnerships. Oyster Fest, North Mason developers. There's some folks that are looking at bringing a new industry into North Mason. I wish I could say more, but I'm going to meet with them and see if we can help. I'm also meeting with a group and trying to figure out some of the ins and outs on something for low-income housing. I've talked a little bit with Kel, and I'll meet with some of our staff on that. This could actually be something very interesting. It's a concept of modulars that are come in and can be set up in hours, but may be completely legal. They're actually used in California. So we got to find out what Washington's a different animal. So we got to find out what can be done, but that may actually be a game changer for our region, for our area, for being able to allow my neighbors to stay there, your neighbors to stay here and not have to leave us because they can't find a home or can't afford a place. It could be a game changer, so I'll look forward to that and I'll find out more, and I hope that I can share that with the commission in the near future because it could really help a lot. And that should bring us back for briefings and we'll start over again and do it again.
All right. All right, so later on today, don't forget, we've got the pre-budget utility rate workshop at 10 o'clock, so let's not forget that. Tomorrow I have Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council meeting, Shelton School District CTE Fall Advisory meeting. So Shelton School has some pretty cool things going on, and I appreciate what they're doing, so they're really helping our kids. Thursday and Friday, I have Public Works Board meetings all day and into the evenings. Don't forget about Oyster Fest this weekend. Back here for Monday on briefings. Local Emergency Planning Committee meeting. We have our city, county, mayor, and commission or chair meeting. Oh my gosh.
Let's throw another sober in.
Right? Then we have business after hours. That's going to be hosted at Turning Point. Public Works Board Executive Committee meeting. Housing issues, I'll be at that one with, that the realtors are putting on as well. Mason, and then the Mason Transit Board meeting, not Borg meeting, board meeting. And we're back here for our briefings on the 13th, which is also Columbus Day, but we will be here, so don't forget that. All right. Anything else, commissioners?
Just one comment. We had a citizen came in last week who had some issues with trees. He's very tall, like 80-foot trees that are about 20 feet from his house, but the trees are on somebody else's property, and the other property owner wanted to take them down. It's one of those ones where it fell through the crack. The person who went out to talk to them originally left Mason County, and it fell through the crack, so they're going to get that taken care of. And
Very cool.
Josh has said he would contact Paul Hunter, who is the one who has volunteered to take those trees down. So he'll get his permission, and his house will be protected from some pretty massive trees that would absolutely crush the house if they fell.
That's awesome. All right. Anything else, commissioners?
Madam Chair, move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion is second. We are adjourned. 10 o'clock, you guys ready? Here we go. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Hello? Had to do it. Yeah.
All righty.
Sound off.
Got it.
All right, let's begin our pre-budget utility rate workshop number 3.
We think it's 3. I don't know. It's kind of a
Could be
blur
5.
at this point. I know.
I don't know.
We'll stick with 3
Okay.
and go from there.
We'll go with that. All
Yeah.
right, take her away.
Well, thank you, commissioners. Our original goal with the pre-budget workshop was hopefully to have things somewhat nailed down. So when we did submit the budget, we were all on the same page about that, and we could say, all right, here were our assumptions about rates, and here's how that plays out with our budget submittal. But we have submitted our budget, and so this morning we want to share what assumptions we did bake in. We're not trying to be presumptuous or put decisions ahead of board decisions, but we did make some budget assumptions that were assuming basically a 10% increase in the rates. And so, of course, if we need to do something different during our budget workshops, we'll talk with you what those options look like and what things need to be, what the options are for living within a different budget. So, with that, Steph did provide kind of an overview in the packet of what it is that we are recommending, and what that means in terms of the rates for each of the utilities, and then how that money would be allocated, so what we're thinking our expenditure plan would be. And we can either walk through that for the joy of all and anybody that might be listening out there, or we can go just straight to questions if commissioners want to do. So either way, whatever is helpful for you.
Commissioners?
I think it's important that anybody that watches gets a chance to get updated again, but I do have some questions that might help me. If you don't mind, I'll ask a couple of them now.
Sure.
Sure, as long as they don't confuse us more.
No guarantees here. I'm gonna, during this process, I'm gonna go in the breakdown of how much we increased each one.
Yep.
This last year. The year before, we went through a process when we thought we were gonna do a 10% increase, where we as a commission stepped up and said that can't happen. It was just too big of an impact. And we stopped it for the time being, and we made an adjustment. Then we did an increase of, I think, 5%.
I'd have to go back and look.
I think it was
Well,
5%.
And then this last year, we increased greatly again. So I'm gonna kind of be worried about that as I'm going through the process. You know, am I looking at, did I already increase it over the last 2 years? Did I already increase it on them by 15, 20%? If so, at what point am I supposed to pay attention to that? That was my question, so.
All righty.
Okay. All right. Take her away, Steph.
All right, so let me share this. Let's see if I can get this gone. All right, so staff is recommending a 10% increase for sewer utilities and a 20% increase in water. I went back and I've looked at the history for Russellwood and Beards Cove, and currently about 86% of Russellwood are within Tier 1 and Tier 2, and so they pay less than $85 a month. 63% pay the $55 a month. For Beards Cove, about 69% are in Tier 1 and Tier 2, and they are paying $51.82 or less. 47% of them are paying $44.32, and so we looked at tracking on those.
And how much of an increase has that been in the last 2 years?
So they went for 44.32, Beards Cove stayed at 44.32, but they only implemented the tiers. And so then for Beards Cove, it's 69% of them are looking at paying $7.50 extra. And that's the tier usage just in 1 and 2.
Percentage-wise, that is?
0. They paid 44.32 just in the base
I
rate.
said that they increased by $7.
Well, that's the 23% that are in tier 1. So their base rate stayed the same. It's just been an increase in the usage. So $7.50. So at 23%.
So we did a 23% increase on them is what that's what I'm asking. How much did we
Only
increase
the
there?
people
Only.
that were over the
Okay,
base
now,
rate,
okay, so that was only those in tier 2?
tier one.
Tier 1.
Well, tier 1 is the base, right? Or are you saying
Base
plus
is
tier
base.
1?
Correct.
Base plus tier 1.
Okay, well, okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
So the base we kept the same,
Correct.
okay? And then on Russellwood?
On Russellwood, they went from $44.32 to $55. So that would be what, $7.50? Let's see.
44.32 to 55.
Yep.
About.
I apologize. That's my
All right.
calculator.
Not quite 20%.
Yeah, 50.
And that 20% is on the base also? I have one person extremely mad at me because I can't help they have a pool.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't, and when we made our decisions, we talked about that.
Yep.
And the fairness of it is, we're talking a huge amount of money they're paying, but the fairness of it for everybody else. So, just so you know, that's not, it bothers me, but it doesn't bother me at the same time. I'm more
Right.
interested in the base.
Yeah, we have a couple of folks that also are watering quite a bit.
Right.
And it's the same situation.
Yeah, and then I did go back and, for like Russellwood, I've got 63% only pay base rate. I've got 23 pay tier 1, so they pay up to $85. I've got 7% that pays the first tier, so they're in tier 2, they pay up to $130. 4% pay up to $190. And that's just in Russellwood.
So we have some of them then that we've increased them by 100%.
Based on water usage. So we have some that,
Yeah, but
that-
what kind of percentage of them did we increase by, let's say 50? Just rough, I don't need the exact, how many of them did we increase the rate by 50% that they're paying?
well, we've got some that went, let's see, 86% pay up to $85. So that's 44 times almost 2. So you've got about 23%.
23% are paying 50% or more, or 50%, okay?
50%.
50%.
So if I do that, then throw that increase around, I could safely say 30% increase on them as a unit. Okay.
But that's gonna be based on their water usage.
Yes.
So we've got some that we've been tracking,
Gotta
they
keep both
just,
of them
Yeah.
ahead.
yep. And then for Beards Cove, we've got 47% are paying just the 44.32, no change in their bill. We've got 22% that are paying up to $51.82, which is $7, so almost a 20% increase there. And 17% pay $68.07 or less, and we've got 14% that pay more than that.
So we got a 50, I'm just roughing out a 15% for them overall. Okay.
Excuse me. And I think in the packet, there's a folder for utility rates that we had pointed to before. And Stephanie has the tables that show the bands of the tiers for the water utilities. And if you wanted to go back
I think
to
she's doing a
refer
good
to
job
that.
of, I'm getting the information I need at least. I think you're doing a good job of explaining it.
Perfect,
For
good.
everybody to-
Yeah, because we've been trying to track it, because as people are getting charged the increased tiers in the summer, we've seen consumption change. So we've really Russell Woods had one this month that we've had to reach out on, but in previous months, July and August, it was pretty quiet. People are starting to really watch their consumption and feel that. Just, that was part of the tiered system was to conserve conservation, so.
Not
people
on
are
my
really-
part.
No. No,
Right.
Because I don't believe in forcing people to
Yeah.
conserve by raising their price. I just,
I don't believe that either, but it's
No.
also good for them to understand
yeah.
where it's coming from. And I think that the meters have really helped a
Absolutely.
lot with that. so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it's important for us to track and keep a close beat on it, because at a minimum, the base rate needs to be able to cover our
Operations.
operating costs,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Well, I believe we did the right thing the way we did it. I'm definitely not saying that. I don't like, the increases and stuff like that, but I'm more worried about the next increase than I am on the last one. I need the last one to know what base I'm looking at over the last couple of years, so that's why I'm using that.
okay.
But it was a decision we made through an educated process. It wasn't
Just
in a
just
vacuum.
like this.
Yeah.
All right, so staff is recommending an increase in sewer rates 10% this year and water to increase by 20%. In years 2 through 5, we're recommending that we increase by the CPIU with a minimum of a 3% increase, no more than a 5% increase, except for Russellwood Water. And we were asking to, if we've got things that come back with our capital facility plan changes, to be able to come back to you guys with, when we receive additional information. So this would balance the affordability for residents and provide financial stability for our funds. And so we'd continue to monitor and bring forward any adjustments that we would recommend or would be needed. But revenue is insufficient to cover operation and maintenance, debt service, and capital needs for a couple of our funds. So just this, when we went out to the community last time, we had a lot of questions on our employee FTE count. And so Mason County has 5 utilities and we share 17 employees between those utilities. And so this is to optimize labor costs, and so we divide that by ERUs originally, but then customers, the true billing of those and the true costing of those employees are actually billed in direct costs. So they're billed how they are actually used. So we have about 12 FTEs for operators. I think it's 11.6, and then we have 8 administrative staff that we share, which only compiles about 3 FTEs is what they're paying for.
I like
Customers are
how
paying
you
for.
put that together for me. I understood it when I was reading it.
And just a quickie, on the operations personnel, so 8 operators, you may recall recently, commissioners, you approved us to go out and advertise
We
for
asked you to.
one. So we've got one unfilled, or have had one unfilled, and we're in the recruiting process right now for that.
Good.
Well, that was a request also from Ecology.
So staff is proposing a 10% increase for North Bay to go from a sewer rate of 120 to a rate of 132. For our budget assumptions in 2026, we included this 10% rate increase. We have currently about 1,400 ERUs with 5 new connections budgeted in 2026. We have a proposed operating budget just short of 1.9 million, which is 3.6 increase. We have debt service of about 275,000 a year and proposed capital expenditures just over $1 million. The proposed capital expenditures that were included in the budget were the general facility plan at just over 220,000. Effluent filters, we have a North Bay facility roof repairs at 50,000. We have Allen controls and TPU lift at 500,000. The road out to North Bay needs some grading.
Yeah, it does.
That's the minimal
Minimal.
effort there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just smooth
Scratching
out
at
some
it.
bumps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, those roads are,
A little treacherous.
yeah, yeah.
And then this utilities allocation for a new vehicle that'll be brought in next year is about $19,000. So we look at, for our budgeting purposes, we've got the 25% operating reserve of about just shy of 475,000. We have total fund other committed besides the operating just over 3.1. We've got revenue coming in just at 2.4, operating expenditures at 3.4. So our ending fund restricted and encumbered is going to reduce about $1 million with our capital expenditures. So,
This is an example too of one where we've got the general facility plan update underway, just in the early stages of that. So we know we have capital expenditures. I mean, there's things that are obvious that we need to perform here in the next few years, but we fully expect that there's going to be a much more detailed and expensive list that comes out of the facility plan, both for replacement of older infrastructure, but also, as Richard will tell you, we're kind of close to a tipping point for expansion as well. So we've got growth and have had growth that's been occurring in Allen. And we've got preliminary plats that are being submitted and pre-applications, and of course housing right in Allen itself. So we've got two triggers for improvements in the North Bay facility.
What is the trigger on North Bay? I know Belfair was 85.
They
But I
both,
thought-
all of them have that
Same permit
85%. And, but like
requirement.
Loretta said, there's two triggers. There's that one, that's a physical one, and that's 85% of your design flow actual, right? Your
Yep.
average,
Yep.
highest 3 months actually hit that. The other is, if you know you can project that you're gonna meet design flow. So you can, not the 85%, but the full out design flow.
And that trigger was, because I remember triggers, I thought of like 70 or 75% from the early days when I was reading that process. Is that the trigger to start planning for design?
For regaining capacity. Yeah. How are you gonna
Yeah.
maintain and?
I thought that was the 85 was the
your
regaining capacity.
Excess capacity.
But it's, okay.
And the capacity could be anything, like a pump station limitation, your collection system limitation,
Oh, on each
headworks.
aspect of it?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, anyone.
Yeah, I didn't
throw
put
you-
that in my head calculations. That makes sense though.
sure. Depending on where the development
So can
is
one
and what's
piece
plugging
hold
in
up the whole
where.
thing?
Sure.
Yep.
It's a bottleneck.
Yeah. Yep. So that's
Pump
why
station
it's,
can't handle it.
right,
The whole system
exactly.
can't handle it.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Steph at the beginning was saying, okay, if we do agree to whatever the plan is, the 5-year plan, we would like to be able, of course, to come back to commissioners if for some reason something's hitting us in the face about, okay, the facility plan says this, or our ecology permit's reaching its limit,
I would
and,
expect you to.
yeah, and so here are the options on how to deal with that.
Right, and just, for context, the facility plan we do have, the last time it was updated was 1998. So a lot of growth's happened, a
Just
lot
a
of things have
few years
occurred.
ago.
Right.
And yeah, that's why
Just a few.
it's like a multi-year,
Yeah.
we were hoping we could get it done this year, the general facility plan. There's a lot of.
Well, a few years back, we discussed and allocated monies towards that. Did it just not get done? What would we do? Because didn't we take $250,000 and direct it towards that for the plan for North Bay? Because we knew that expansion was coming soon. I know we had the discussion. I thought
Oh, that started earlier this year.
This
Okay.
year,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's what I meant.
probably
I
a
didn't-
couple budget cycles ago, you know,
Yeah.
we said we need to do this, or we're recommending that this be done. But yeah, by the time we did our RFP and consultant selection and all those good things.
But we did do that.
kicked-
I thought we
yes,
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So North Bay, rainwater drains into the sewer system.
No.
Is that correct?
Well, I mean, it's not direct, right? It's not a combined system, but there is old leaky infrastructure. We need to search out to see if there's any connections that shouldn't be made the way they are, for lack of a better way to put it. But yeah, we do have.
Smoke testing, but did we follow through and fix it?
We didn't find a lot the first time out, and it was, I mean, really, we had a brand new staff, and they were done like within a day, and I'm like, well, it takes a little longer sometimes to get the smoke to permeate through where you want it to, so we need to go back through this again, and do that, and just we can really narrow down the areas. Right now is a good time. Last week, we just went around and popped all the manholes, so we got a visual of what does normal look like during dry flow.
Right.
So now that we got some rain coming, we should be able to neck it down pretty quick. It's mostly on that hillside is where we're finding it. Not so much up in the Lakeland Village area. There are
Down in the
some
new
things there,
area,
like I
or-
know the old ranch pump station, it's more of a infiltration issue, not an inflow, because when the groundwater comes up, then it just comes up and it runs a lot, meaning it's just leaking in cracks. Or if it goes up and it comes down with a rain event, then it's most likely somebody's got a direct connection to it, and that's the ones we gotta find. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at it, and we can see which ones are mostly influenced by those sort of situations and take those neighborhoods and smoke test them more thoroughly and yeah, make them fix it. It won't be fun, but it has to be done. There's a lot of capacity gets used up.
Right.
So one other thing that I'd like to point out is that the revenue is just under 2.4. Our operating expenditures and our debt expenditures are over the 2.4. So that's where we lose a little ground at our current rate.
Okay, when you say, our expenditures on that, are you including, capital expenditures? Are you including, or are you just talking just staff?
Just operating expenditures and debt. Capital is over $1 million, and that's coming out of our operating reserves. So we've got about $100,000 that are coming out of the beginning fund committed balance. So between the operating, which is staff and our supplies and repairs and maintenance and our debt services, is above what we're bringing in revenue.
What's debt services and what is the sunset on that? When is that changing?
I will have to look that one up
That's
for
a
you.
ways out there.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
This
say
is probably in our
37.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going away anytime soon in North Bay.
That's one of our higher ones too.
Mm-hmm.
We still got 3.5 million.
At a rate of $275,000 a year.
Yeah, that was at 3.5%.
Oh, yeah.
So what should balance?
I mean, that's the highest interest rate too, right?
Yes, that is. And although, we've had these discussions before about, we make money on things by them being in the bank. It's the wave and the idea of being inside that system that sometimes it is still beneficial to get those debts off of us. Even though, we may make more money by not.
Yeah. Because we're probably not making much more in interest at that rate.
Right.
Well, it's coming,
Yeah.
there was a
It's
little
coming.
bit here where we
Yeah.
were doing pretty well,
Yeah.
man. But
Yes.
it's coming back down. a
Just
little
came back
bit.
down a quarter.
And it may be worth to have that discussion soon. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions on North Bay?
Well, but I'm glad you added that part because I now have to rethink my calculations because I was going with a lower amount than by a long shot, but I could, so.
So our next is our Russellwood sewer. So staff again is proposing a 10% increase for Russellwood. Their current rate is $118.15. with the 10% increase, it increases their rate about $9 or $11. So we'll go to $129.97.
How much did we increase them last time?
That one, I will have to go back and look at the history of that. I apologize.
Okay.
Let's see. See if I have it. I don't think I do.
Not that. It was a slide that I
We
removed.
did do a substantial one on that. I'm just trying to remember how substantial, but that was also one of the ones that was,
Had been held for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, many of these we didn't touch for a long time because we were trying to find other ways to relieve the stress, but no, I don't have
well, and
it.
somehow we didn't have the CPI on all of them, which is odd because that's what it was set up to.
For the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for 2026, the budget assumptions is the 10%. We go from 118 to 129. We have 150 ERUs with no capacity for growth. We have $110,000 in grant funding for compliance requirements. We received
Say that again, I'm sorry. 100?
It's $110,000 for grant funding for the,
And-
that's the LSWIFA or the
That's the
nutrient grant?
nutrient
The
grant.
Nutrient grant.
Yeah, for the Department of Ecology, they got two permits. We got a
Okay.
general permit, and we also have the Puget Sound General Nutrient Permit.
Okay,
And so it has required testing and stuff, but they
Right.
give us a grant to cover all costs.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have included $62,000 in REAP funding to help with the debt service. We have $100,000 needed to cover budget shortages. And the proposed O&M budget is 370, just shy of 372,000. It is a 15% increase. We'll go through some of that. We've got debt service of 62,000 and proposed capital expenditures of $54,000.
See that again? The debt.
Oh, there you go.
So we have 54,000 in capital expenditures, and those are a mixer and the utilities portion of a new vehicle.
All right, so the Russellwood debt is 1.72%, which is crazy good, and that's $1,045,000.
So on that one, though, eventually you're gonna have to, we've started to talk about it a little bit, but you're gonna have to get us a number of what that plant can handle capacity-wise, because I'd still like to have the discussion of opening up next to it. If it can handle it. If it can't handle it, then it's a moot point, but if it can, the only way we're ever gonna get out of this one is, even if we paid it off, it still can't make, maintenance operation. So we gotta expand those that can
More
hook-
customers.
Yeah, that's our only option, if it can handle it. You were gonna look into it, I'm just reminding you now that we're gonna need that information to make some decisions in the next year.
Oh, yeah, well, that's part of this is, with that general nutrient permit, they wanna see just what it can handle. And we had to do an ACART analysis, and it's, like the mixer's part of the nitrogen optimization effort because they want it to be able to produce like reclaimed water nutrient standards. And so that's just adding in an anoxic phase of the sequencing batch reactor to promote denitrification.
But do you think you'll have
I don't
a swag
know.
at
but
numbers using that, or?
Hopefully, they'll have, we'll have to generate what the plant has for capacity.
Yeah. Well, we'll take whatever information we can get.
Yeah.
And we've never done that as a county either. This would be the first time if we did it to find a way to expand an area to allow it for higher density. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just, you can't usually do it without a sewer. The water would be another aspect, but this may be the one opportunity to do it. And it benefits us and them, the property owners, we benefit hugely by being able to have smaller.
One of our responsibilities as a board is to provide infrastructure.
So the beginning operating reserve for the Russellwood sewer would be an 8.5%, but there would be a reserve at the beginning of the year of about $32,000. We have under other funding, $162,000, grants of $110,000, revenue pulling in about $223,000. We have an operating expenses, 371. We had some increases in permits and testing requirements, plus the capital, and we had requests for some contract services for electrical and mechanical contracts. Yeah.
Okay.
And then for our ending fund balance, we're hoping to be just shy of $40,000 at the end of next year. Any questions with Russell?
26, right? Yeah, and all of those, the electrical, that was very needed, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. I walked in there and it was like, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Rat's nest comes to mind as a
Yeah.
description.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We're gonna move to Russellwood Sewer, where our staff, we're proposing a 20% increase from $55 to $66.
This is the water, right?
This is the water. On this one, we're also requesting and recommending a 10% annual increase from 2027 to 2030 to progress the financial sustainability of this account, or this part of the fund, and maintaining its current tier structure. So they would go from $55 to $66, so it'd be an $11 increase per month on the base rate. So that would be, for most everybody, 63% of them would just be paying the base if they followed historical, and 86% would increase to $101 or less.
So 101 would be the highest.
On 101, 86% of them fall in base or tier 1, and so that would be a 30% increase. So it'd be about, what, $96.
Okay.
So we included this projection in our 2026 budget. The base rate would include the 400 cubic feet, and the tiers would remain the same, no new connections. We have $420,000 in grant funding for water system upgrades, and other funding of $35,000 would be needed to cover additional budget shortages that would not be covered by the grant or by revenues. So proposed O&M budget is just shy of $163,000, an 11% increase. There's no debt service, and proposed capital expenditures would be the $424,000. That is because we have $420,000 available for grant funding. So as that got identified with the capital facility plan, that we would have that available. So we have the reimbursable water system upgrades for $420,000. We're looking at potentially updating their water meters.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is the utilities allocation of a new vehicle.
How old are their water meters?
It's just upgrading from drive-by radio reads to direct reporting on.
Oh, right.
But I think they were installed back in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started installing them around then.
Yeah.
We started installing in 17.
Yeah.
But it took forever to get,
Yep.
Forever.
yeah. And that was grant money and stuff too, to put those on.
Yeah, and this would be so that they would see real-time usage.
So the AC pipe replacement, $300K, we got that in a grant,
That's for Beards
Here's
Cove.
go.
Beards Cove, yeah.
So on this one, we have revenues coming in at $582,000. We've got expenditures at $586,000. So we'd be digging into a little bit of the operating reserve. So we've got a little bit of an operating reserve anticipated at the beginning of '26. So, but we'd be just over 24%. So we would hopefully be able to maintain a level 25%. That's what we've been striving on this one. For Beards Cove, we are proposing a 20% increase in the Beards Cove water rates from $44.32 to $53.18. This rate, the base rate hasn't changed since 22, 23,
22.
22.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this one hasn't changed. So this would be an increase of less than $9 per month. So we included this in our 2026 budget, the 20% rate increase. We would retain the base rate to include the 400 cubic feet and the tiers to remain the same. Their tiered system is significantly different than Russellwood. Their rates are, Russellwood's tiers are $10 per 100 up to 700, and Beards Cove is $2.50. So they have a significant difference in their tiering scheme. So the ERUs currently at Beards Cove are about 482 customers. We're expecting or anticipating one new connection next year. We have $292,000 in grant funding for the Larson & Larson AC pipe replacement. We have a proposed budget just shy of $371,000, which is a 7% increase over the 2025 budget. We have debt service of $11,600. This is from the water meters, the previous water meter installation, and proposed capital expenditures of $587,000. The $587,000 includes 3 hydrant replacements at a cost of $52,500. We have estimated cost of the water meter upgrades. Probably first round is $200,000. We have AC pipe replacement at $330,000, and the utility, this utility's allocation of the new vehicle is about $4,500.
But that's only for the one section, right? That's not all of the AC
Correct.
replacement
Correct.
needs to be
Right.
done.
Correct.
How much do you think?
Oh boy, this is real, when you look at the overall system, it's really kind of a small section.
That's what I thought. Would you think?
Yeah.
I think it goes over 2 million
Yeah.
ballparked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20%?
Maybe,
Maybe, okay.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of, so we're also doing a water system plan update for this system. And that is necessary to be able to apply for grant funding for the AC pipe replacement. And we're meeting with DOH, tomorrow, this week,
Yeah.
to talk about scoping that and what,
We're meeting
And-
with Department of Health people too, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Let's get this done.
Good. All right. On this budget summary overview, we begin the significant, we have $100,000, just shy of $100,000 for the 25% operating reserve. We have additional funds just shy of $1 million for capital. We have grant revenue just shy of $300,000 and service revenue at just over $360,000. We have on operating expenditures of $370,000, debt service of $11,500, capital expenditures of $587,000 for total expenditures just shy of $1 million. So this one, we anticipate the beginning fund balance to decrease more than $300,000. So if we look at the revenue that we're bringing in at $362 and our operating expenditures and debt service at $382, we actually we would not be putting funds for future capital into
Well, that one's running 1.2 million, right?
It began the year out at, 1.2, but at the end of the year, it'll be down to about $750,000. And because of, the rate is so low that even if we go up, you're going, 480, let's say 500 customers times what the amount that we would be able to put away each year would be very minimal. So that's why getting these rates set so that we've got an incremental amount going into the capital reserve each year, because when we do capital expenditures on these funds, you know, it's not 50,000 a year, it's, you know, we've got the water meter upgrades at partially, or having money available for the pipe replacement. I think we've talked about this before, we've got about 5 miles of pipes. If it's a little over $1 million to replace a mile of pipe, even our 20% match would be $1 million, so making sure that we've got reserves put away so we can match those grant opportunities.
Or loans.
Or loans.
Often it's not even a grant
Yep.
anymore, it is a
Right.
loan, and so we have to meet our debt ratios
Yep.
to even qualify for the loans.
Yep.
I'm seeing that in other areas as well.
Yeah, I'm sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any questions on Beards Cove? All right, so we move on to the Belfair Sewer. So for Belfair Sewer, again, we proposed a 10% increase going from 110.54 to 122.25. Just for comparison, the North Bay rate's at 132. We're recommending North Bay to increase to 132, Belfair to 122, and Russellwood to almost 130. So they're all within a little bit of a ballpark of each other. So in that assumption, again, going from 110 to 122, ERUs are at 662 with 5 new connections budgeted in 2025. We have REIT and 09 funding of 1.2. We have a proposed O&M budget just over 1.2. That's a 6% increase over 2025 budget. We have debt service of just over 1.1. Proposed capital expenditures of just under $1 million, and the one Belfair loan outstanding. Just on a side note, we have one Belfair loan for the connections outstanding.
The Get Connected program.
Yeah.
To get connected, we have one remaining for about a balance of about $2,500. So,
Are they actually making payments still?
no, they're leaned.
That's what I thought.
Yep. But we're down to one.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. And then on the CFC
Those poor people, though, it was
refunds,
devastating to them when they had to do that, and they were forced into that, taking on debt in order just to survive, not just mention for the hookup, for everything else. Something I noticed, I don't remember us officially doing it, but it appears that we're now running a 200-gallon ERU in Belfair. Is that what we're doing? When it was first
the
established, it
code?
was established at 155.
Isn't
And then-
code 200
But
now?
I'm looking at all our stuff that we say now, that I'm looking at, it says 200 everywhere. The 155 doesn't seem to exist anywhere. I'm not complaining,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to clarify.
for design purposes, maybe,
Design
but for,
purposes is 200, but yeah. code's
yeah,
always
but
been
not for
155.
code.
So it's still at 155 for code?
It should
Okay.
be, yeah, it's like
Well,
that's,
when I was looking, it was still, it was saying 200, that it spread over to, I don't know, so, when you did you just did your calculations on all those things, did you do it at 150?
For the ERU calculation, I did it in code, it says 7,564 is an annual ERU. So that's what we use, their annual usage divided by that number.
And what does that come out to?
630 per month,
cubic feet.
cubic feet.
Okay, what I need is,
Yeah. Is it 155 or 200?
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do some research on it.
It's 155 in code, but we designed for 200, so we've got that buffer.
Yeah.
We're
But it
planning
looked
for
good, that
this
makes
case.
difference on the businesses and stuff.
That's
I get-
155.
It is 155
Yeah.
still, okay. Bummer. Well, because the businesses, if it had moved up to 200, but if at the same time, if they were still using all those extra numbers,
I'm using 7,564 for code,
Okay.
yeah. So for 2026 capital budget for the Belfair Sewer, we have the capital sewer facility plan at 200,000. We have a new membrane and a replacement membrane. One's 200,000, one's 167,000. We have irrigation pump filters at 10,000. The UV light system upgrade at $250,000. We've got blowers at 150,000, and then this funds allocation for a new vehicle at just over 13,000. Since this 2026 budget submission, additional capital expenditures are likely. They're doing some,
Yeah, looking at what the expenditures would be for repairs to the pond.
Okay, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. And so that's something that might not necessarily need to be programmed, because that'll be likely a pretty big hit. And I know that Mike and team are working on some preliminary estimates, but it's easily,
We're not even gonna know that
it
until we
could
get into the bottom of
easily
that thing and see what's
be
down there.
$500,000. So that's something that we need to be getting our eyes on, some grant applications
We met on
pronto.
site, Mike McCurven, and the engineer from Dam Safety last week, so
Yeah.
we all met
I
on
can't help but
site.
smile every time somebody
I
says
know.
damn safety. I
Right.
just can't. I've watched too much Beavis and Butthead or something, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's fun to say, I gotta do my damn safety inspection.
On the vehicle, are you separating, because $13,000 is that separated?
it's one
between-
vehicle and it's just an allocation,
Yes,
yeah,
that's what
for
I
each
I
one.
thought it was, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to
Yeah.
verify.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
they're getting a F-150, or is it a Maverick, or?
I think it's gonna be another Maverick, yeah, or a Ranger, if we can get one.
Is it cheaper and wiser? I know that our ER&R is separate than our other, we did that on purpose. But is it cheaper, is it something to think about for connecting on to our lease?
I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
It becomes part of the ENR lease rates and for maintenance in the following year, but the.
No, we lease from
Enterprise.
Enterprise,
Enterprise.
and there may be a cost savings there. I don't know if we wanna, because we had to separate everything out. Past commissioners before I came in had taken money out of that fund. And we owed back $3.5 million, and we ended up coming up with a better idea. We created support services and everything like that in order to not have to pay it back. We just let them keep everything that was in there, and we ended up paying $68,000. So we've been separated for all this time, but this, just something to look at, because you can still stay separate, I would think, and jump onto our contract.
Yeah.
Same county.
Okay, that's an option.
Yeah, piggyback. All right.
Talk to Kelly, or who are we visiting
Jen.
with? Jen.
Okay. So the beginning and ending fund balance, I apologize. We begin the beginning fund balance at just under 4.4 million. We have revenue coming in at 2.4. That includes the debt assistance from REIT 09. We have operating expenses of just at 1.2. We have debt service at 1.1, capital expenditures just shy of $1 million. So we have total expenditures at 3 million. We estimate coming in just shy of 3.5 at the end of the year. So that fund is anticipated to decrease about 900,000. And again, if we look at our revenue coming in at 2.4, we're just shy of 2, or just over 2.3 for operating and debt service. So we wouldn't be able to put away much there. So we continue to seek additional funding, grant opportunities, and always looking for operational efficiencies. But bottom line, our revenues are insufficient to cover the O&M, debt service, and capital.
Which is not a shocker.
No.
And a sad way to
No.
end, but
Yeah. But just why we're asking for the rate increases that we are.
What was last year's CPI?
I know that the CPI that just came out in August was 2.8.
yeah, the August to August
Yeah.
was 2.8. And then to answer your question, Randy, about what were the prior increases, so in July 1 of 2024 is when we made our first rate increase. And Belfair went to 110.54, and that was the first rate increase.
I
from
remember, I'm the one that
I know,
asked for it,
I
even
know.
though I'm the,
I know, it was from way back when. North Bay went to 120, Russellwood, water was 44.32 was the base. And that's all still. There was no tier
Yeah.
at that point, still a base. Beards Cove water was the same rate, 44.32. And Russellwood sewer was 118.15. Then in January 1 of 25, no change on the sewer utilities at all, but the water base rates went up on just Russellwood to $55. So that was a 24% increase on the base rate for Russellwood water. Beards Cove water base rate remained the same, and we implemented the tiers.
Which brought in and created even, according to you, a 15% increase over the
Yeah.
board.
Yep. So that's the most recent rate increase history.
So I don't know how we want to do this. I know I have, a lot of thoughts on all this, that I've gone through a lot of things that I keep changing, I'll be honest with you, on what I'm doing with it. One of them, they don't come to what you're saying, but, even since I said I've increased one of them, which would have been North Bay, understanding what I wanted, but I don't know how you want to handle that, or.
I know, I was looking at, I also did a comparison with, like the city of Shelton and, PUD1 with some of theirs, and everybody's going up because you have to. Everybody has to increase each year. So I don't know if you guys want to take a look at these two. I guess I could have shared them.
I know I did on the last time we were doing it, but I could take a quick look real quick if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many seniors do we have, do you know?
Ooh, Steph did do that.
I did do that.
Did you do that?
I don't know if I have access to that right now, but I did reach out to the county assessor and actually went back and looked at the number of senior exemptions inside each of the districts. So, thank you.
Yeah.
So we've got Beards Cove had 34 senior exemptions, North Bay had 60, and Russellwood had 8. Belfair had none.
Senior exemptions on the water?
Senior
their
exemptions for
property
their
tax.
I was
property
gonna say,
taxes.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
No.
So it didn't, okay.
No.
Just
No,
as an
because-
indicator of how many people are
Yes.
qualifying
Right,
and
yeah,
enrolled
right.
in that
I was gonna say.
program.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
And we, just going back to what commissioner direction was previously, Sharon, you were wanting to look at, okay, let's
do a
do our best
5-year.
to do a 5-year, so that's the basis of Stephanie's presentation today.
Well, my reasoning for that is it's just easier for commissioners to come after us. I'd like it to make it easier for them, and it's also better for the customers to know,
Absolutely,
I'm gonna be increased by 3% or whatever.
yes,
3 to 5%
some
per year.
predictability,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yep.
For some reason, budgets always come to mind,
Right.
yeah. Any thoughts?
I don't know, I don't have enough history on all of this. I know that there's gonna be a lot of deep inhales when they see these bills.
There will be.
They just did. 1 year ago, we did this, we bit the bullet and we did some heavy lifting. And that's where some of my concerns come now. When we look at doing that each year, when we knew we were doing it last year, but we made conscious decisions not to raise it to the point to where we felt they couldn't handle it.
Yeah, but I thought we also talked about trying to develop ways that it wasn't such a big hit all at once.
We
And so
did.
if we were doing it gradually to get it to where it needs to be, so that we can do the O&M, cover the O&M and the debt.
We did have those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, Russellwood's the toughest utility, for sure.
And it will be until we can expand or find out if we can't.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, right.
On the water side, you know, they took an $11 per month jump between mid-July and January 1. And what's being recommended here today is another $11 jump for water and $12 for sewer, so
But it's,
$23 a month
but
per
that's,
customer
that's
for the
tier,
base.
though. I was gonna say, 'cause
Absolutely.
the
For the
increase
base.
was much greater than that,
Correct,
you know, so.
correct.
So there were
Yeah.
some that got that, but the majority of them got a much greater increase.
Well, that's 63% are just paying base
The,
at
the
Russell.
majority
So
actually are
63.
paying
Yeah,
the
the
base.
majority, that was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
misstatement.
Yeah,
Cause I actually have it as 15% doing
Yeah.
50% and stuff like that, so I.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, 20-some dollars a month in a base rate alone, you know,
Yeah.
that can be a tough hit for some folks, for sure. No doubt about it. And that is obviously our toughest utility
Right.
and the one in need
Well,
of
that
the
was the one that
greatest.
was, yeah, that needs the most attention too.
Absolutely,
On a smaller scale, we have to pay, but it's
Yes.
every single year, there's no way to get out of that one, they just.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the one thing that we didn't really touch on, you know, also is we have utilized REIT and $09 to help us on that fund in particular. But, as you know, there's kind of tight restrictions on how we use that.
Right.
And so this year, we're actually looking for a request from the general fund as opposed to REIT and '09, because we're thinking we're not able to meet the test of
And that's why you don't have it
expending-
in the 26 budget assumptions.
Yes, yeah.
So how much are you asking for out of the general?
At 135,000
Out of general fund.
For Russellwood.
For
Yeah,
Russellwood?
yeah.
Now, has our budget manager said to you, and maybe from the auditor's office, their chief financial officer, are they saying that we can't?
I have not heard.
We should,
Response
well,
from
we
them.
should, before we start looking to
Yeah.
take it out of the general fund, we should get that determination from them.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just making sure that these beginning fund balances maintain, you know, as these utilities are aging, everything in that infrastructure will need to be replaced at some point. So making sure that we have the capacity to, you know, meet, you know, grant, to be able to meet grant opportunities or loan ratios and just be able to replace them, to keep them operating in compliance.
Right. So in this one, you have 162.5 for O&M budget
Pat, just so you know,
for Russellwood.
with
For
Russellwood,
Russellwood sewer.
every year,
Yep,
So
Russell.
it's
as
not-
long as
not
I've been
just
here.
water.
Water's the
at the
extra
end of the year
35.
budget,
An extra
we
35.
Yep,
put money.
because you have 62,000 is the debt service,
I don't think there's ever been a year
100,000
we
for
didn't.
general fund, for sewer, and then 35 for water.
Yeah, and then often mid-year emergency
Yeah.
requests to
Yeah.
boot.
Yep,
on
that's
top
happened
of it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because there's no other places to get it, but our legislators have helped us with that one quite a bit over the years.
They have, but all that money's gonna dry up as well.
Mhm.
So we can't, I do not want to depend, and they've said
Yeah.
that we can't depend on them for future monies.
So how do you want to do this? You want to go with
Did you-
your
did you
recommendations?
have ideas?
I can do my recommendations,
Yours?
of what I want,
Yeah.
and I know what I can vote for, I should say. Okay, let's go ahead and start with Russellwood, some of the backgrounds on that. As we just got done talking about, it's its own animal in there, there's only so many limitations. So for the most part, I have, you know,
Are you doing sewer or water?
right now I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna do both, but let's go ahead and do, water first. We're stuck with what we can do with that, but there's still a limit on how much they can handle. And we just put a big thing on them, and that one spread quite larger than, it did Beards Cove for the greater amount. I can see, I wanted 10%, but I might be able to stomach more, but for now, let me just say 10% is what I'd like to see on
For
that
the
for
water?
Russellwood water. I also, though, can see the same, increase on sewer with them. We have to be able to justify it. I think we can justify it. Beards Cove,
Okay, hold on. Wait.
sorry.
I just wanna see the numbers when we're going up. Okay, so you're saying you'll go with staff's recommendation of 10% for sewer?
On Russellwood, yes.
Okay,
And then, they are requesting 20% on water. I'm
And
okay
you're
with
saying
with
10.
10, but I'm not saying I'm dead on that one. I'm just saying that's where I'm sitting. North Bay, I was at CPI, but I can see doing a 5% increase on North Bay because we need to increase it a little bit. They've got a good reserve happening. Beards Cove, I don't know they can see a 10%, maybe 5% of Beards Cove, but we're gonna have to increase those tiers. We were great to do that, but now that we're realizing what we're doing with Russellwood, we probably should be a little fairer. They're gonna be mad at me, but at the same time, because that's only got $2 compared to 10, is that what you were saying?
They're tiered rates, yeah.
So we need to up that tier a little bit more. I don't know where to land on it, but we need to start to work that process each year, maybe increase that one up.
Okay.
Belfair, I actually agree with the 10% again, and the reason why is, and I'll explain to Pat, I fought for 10 years to keep that one low, not just because I lived there, but because it was so unfair to the businesses and stuff like that. But after 10 years, everything caught up, you know what I mean? And that's why even though the commission was even asked in the paper, would you, and they were saying no, I was sitting there thinking, I kind of have to because it's not fair anymore. Those businesses, I wish they were at 200 gallons though. I still say we need to have a separate thing for them in the near future, a separate level for them. Because maybe we can change the gallons. Maybe that's how we do it. I haven't thought about that until now. I think that's all of them, right? Is there any of them I'm missing?
No, I think that's-
Afterwards though.
what about the 2 to 5, or 2 to 5 years, are
Yeah.
you?
That was the afterwards.
Okay.
So the afterwards, at the minimum, we need to reestablish what we had before, which was the CPI.
CPI.
For everything, though, somehow, we didn't even know as commissioners that it wasn't covering everything. When we would do those, we thought we were doing CPI for all of them, but that isn't what was happening. There was some of them that just left out. But, maybe the first year, we have a 5% across the board, and then CPI on the second and start to go, because it'll also help us to move forward a little bit, and it's something that can be planned.
So you're saying a CPI,
5%
Of
year
5%.
one, then CPI after that.
so
for the
year
next-
one, you're saying 5% for
Yes.
some of
For
them,
the next year.
For
So I
27.
heard it
But
is,
then-
is
but then 5% for
Five.
year two.
5% year two
Yes.
across the board.
5% year two,
Yeah, instead of CPI, the second year using 5%, and then going to CPI on all utilities after that.
after that,
And just
in years 3
plain
through.
CPI or sideboards, like a minimum CPI and
That's what
maximum?
we have that as our policy. Keep it with the policy we already have.
Okay.
But, if it does jump, we need to have that discussion sooner rather than later. Because we're gonna wanna keep it in our budget and paying attention. And that's the reason why I picked the 5%, because we have in our policy also for the
3 to
maximum
5.
5, yeah.
Yeah,
For utilities, it's already 3 to 5?
No,
no, in our.
it's in other,
Yeah.
yeah,
Policies.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
we put it in this last year to do it, but I actually don't, that'll also give a base that is a little more than CPI, but at the same time, it'll help us to move forward, so I'm thinking the 3 to 5 still.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And then, I'm sorry, I misunderstood, I'm sorry to jump in here. So water, so Russellwood, water and sewer, both
At 10.
10%. Beards Cove, 10%, but
Five.
look at the.
5% for
Oh,
Beards
oh,
Cove.
5 on Beard,
5%.
but look at tiers.
Increase the
Right.
tiers.
Okay.
I'm actually asking you to increase the tiers.
Okay, gotcha, sorry, thank you.
I don't know, you give me the best thing, because, do we wanna hit them with that, with one? I'd rather maybe look at a 2-year,
To match up with Russell Woods rates.
or at least get a lot
Two.
closer,
Or
because
get
that is a
closer.
far difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, and then North Bay 5% and Belfair 10.
that's what I have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Year 2, CPIU minimum,
No, you're to 5%.
oh, excuse
the
me,
board.
yes,
Yeah,
5%.
Across the board,
5%.
5%.
Yes, and then beyond that, the sideboard 3 to 5.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Oh, it doesn't
I'm
sound
just
terrible.
simple, I'm just gonna take your recommendations. I mean, that, because I have so little knowledge on exactly what has transpired in the past and how we get healthy. It seems like we're underwater on
We
every
are.
one of them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are and have been for as long as I've been here.
Yeah.
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 Well, county shouldn't even be in this business.
No, but we are, so.
Yeah. And some of the ones we have, Pat, it's not that we built it or
No.
we wanted it, they got dumped on us and PUD one didn't want them, they were so bad.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that, but it's still,
yeah, but it's still our responsibility. Yeah. Yeah, I, honestly, I like your recommendations. Now, if we could bargain this out, Randy. Let's
Well, I'm-
negotiate,
I'm
shall
open, because I
we?
would have to vote no on the other, I'm open to
Okay,
listen.
okay, well, good. Okay, so I like the 10% for, definitely for I can agree with you 100% for the Russell Wood sewer and the Belfer sewer. And I like the idea of averaging out or redoing the tiers so that they match. But I just, looking at where we are as far as debt goes for North Bay and, Birds Cove. I would rather get to as close as we can to the 10%, if not at the 10%. So if we negotiated and we did 8%, could you vote for that?
8% on
On
North Bay
and, Weirds Cove
instead of 5.
instead of 5.
Yeah, and we have monies in the banks on both of those. Rather than vote no, I would do that. You know, Pat, you're fine with me, I do like to stand on my morals and what I believe, but it is so important to me that we stand together when we can, because they will tear us apart. They always will tear us apart. And so I try my best, and I get my ass kicked for doing this, but I would rather that than the other, and I appreciate that you worked with me instead. So because of that, I will agree with that, yes.
All right. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm coming at it from such a place of inexperience and knowledge that, you know, I can follow
Right.
with that 8%. I'm okay. I tend to believe, you know, or take the word of our experts, but I'm also not in a position to say, hey, well, I'm gonna die on this hill.
Well, nothing personal about our experts, but their first recommendation was $182 per per month, so
We give
that's
op-
why it's
we
our
give-
job,
we give
yeah,
five
to
options.
work it
Give
backwards,
options,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was
Yeah.
the shock factor of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was fully needed.
This is what it takes to
and-
break even.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually important, because I still have to use that when I'm talking to these people.
Sure.
See, the saddest part about all this
Yes.
is every one of these are in my district. There isn't a single one that's not.
You're welcome.
But again,
You're welcome.
I did that, you're willing to work with me, I just, instead I'll say thank you and be appreciative of it, and realize I am just one vote, and it is the whole county that has to cover it, so I'll be happy to, well, not happy, but
Yeah. So the water utilities, we only have one, and that's Russell Wood.
2.
And Beards Cove,
Oh, and Beards Cove, that's
Yeah.
right.
yeah. Yeah, so I guess a little clarification on that, Sharon, I misunderstood. So Russellwood Water and Sewer, what were you thinking on that?
And, yeah, so far I was just working on the sewers
Okay, gotcha.
for, but the Beards Cove water, where's that one? You can probably get there faster than I can. North Bay.
And I'd be willing to do the same, that one we're actually,
Here we go.
again, we have money to do stuff, but I'm willing to do the same thing on that one. I thought we were doing both, but I'm willing to do the same thing on that one. But also with an increase of those tiers, cause, so that'll be even more revenue. But
For Beards Cove?
yeah, because that tier thing is such a big discrepancy between them.
Yeah.
You know, the thing what we're doing, what we're doing here with North Bay also starts to get them to be equal with Belfair. That's why the 5%.
Okay, so,
But I can do the 8.
so just to clarify on the Beards Cove water, are you saying 10 or, because they're saying 20% for the water? Tim, so I figured, I thought we had the sewer good, and then I was gonna go back to the water. So the sewer, 8%,
For Belfair and
North Bay and
Yeah,
Beards
what was my
Cove.
recommendation?
Beards Cove is
Belfair-
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was my recommendation that I had?
I
Beards Cove
thought,
is water,
Beards Cove is water.
is just water?
Just water.
What was it?
Yeah, you said 5%.
yours was,
For Beards Cove.
Russellwood,
With
Water
tiers.
and Sewer, both 10%. Beards Cove, 5%
Yes.
with up in the tiers.
Yes.
North Bay, 5%, and Belfair, 10%.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so I was confusing myself. Okay, so what about the sewer? Would you, no, sorry,
I
the
would do-
water
I would do the same, the 8%, but we're still increasing the tier, so it's 8% plus.
plus the tiers.
Yes, plus the tiers because,
Okay, so we're not going, so staff's recommendation was 20 for the water with,
that's the one system that we have that actually is, we don't wanna
because
get
we're
rid
doing
of.
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember when Tim Sheldon,
Okay,
Tim
you're-
Sheldon wanted to sell that one,
Okay, you're-
or give it away to PD one, because PD one wanted it. It's like, they didn't want it when it was broke, they only want it now that it's rich, and
I don't think they want it yet.
No, they
I
do
talked to
not.
them.
I was gonna
They
say,
do.
they
we
did that.
haven't quite gotten
They don't
there
now.
The
yet.
lipstick's not on it yet.
That's
Right.
right. Once we get some lipstick, maybe.
Tim represented PD one a lot. He was a PD commissioner before he was.
Yeah, so you would be comfortable going with 10% for Russellwood and for Belfair, and then
Yes.
5% across the board in year 2.
Yes,
North Bay, 8% in,
5% across the board, year 2.
yeah, yes, and then Beards Cove, 8% with the tiers.
Increased in
Right.
tiers, yes. Increased,
Is that workable?
So if I understand correctly, we've got 8% for North Bay. I've got Russellwood sewer at 10%.
yes.
We've got Russellwood water at 10%. Okay. We've got Beards Cove is 8% plus changing the tiers. Do you
Yes.
want 2 times the tier?
I'll leave that to you, but I think that might be a wiser move to do.
Okay. And then Belfair is 10%.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's 5% automatic on all utilities,
On year 2.
Year two. and
And
then
then
CPI
CPI.
within the boundaries of our 3 to 5%. Because we still gotta make up, even if it goes
Yes.
down
Yeah.
to 1.5 like it did, that's
Yeah.
how we also make up.
Yep.
But we have to keep
Well,
on all the
because
utilities somehow, we never knew what happened, right? Cause it just
Yeah.
disappeared and because you never had an inkling either, right? It just-
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, forever. How
Yeah.
long had it been riding that way?
Yeah. You mean with
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess we're back and recap.
that just always goes to show you, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, thank you very much, Richard and Stephanie. I mean, this has been
Yes.
a lot of scenario work, and thank you, commissioners, for the great questions and options, and it's been helpful. It's always helpful, like, how else can we look at this? And it's not easy. We totally acknowledge
And
that.
I appreciate your
and
numbers.
thank
I'm a
you.
numbers guy. I like good numbers. When I have good numbers, I believe I can trust. It makes it a lot easier for me to do my job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and it's
Especially when the
been-
numbers are factual.
It's been so helpful in having conversations with the community as well, as you know.
I was there at all of them, getting beat up on all of them.
Exactly, yeah. So
okay, you're a big guy, you
important.
can
Well, no, the thing was funny, I got beat up the worst on one that wasn't even for them.
Yeah.
They showed up for a different community's one, and proceeded to kick all of our ass. I was like, but we're not talking about them.
They tracked us down.
That's right. That's right.
The community's been good when we've gone out and talked to them.
Yeah.
By the time we leave, I feel like we've educated and kind of let them know where their utility is and, what we're struggling with.
Well, one of the biggest things we had to deal with was a different problem was when we hit Russellwood, when we were doing all these things and they were getting terrible water, bad water. But we've done a lot to clean all that up. I haven't got one call from them at all, so I'm assuming, but I did that before, and I assume,
Oh, I know.
but you're,
But you
I'm
guys
sure
are
you're
on
out there
top of
checking
it.
all the
I've got a
time.
couple of people out there I call and check.
The pulse, he's
Yeah.
got some
Yeah.
pulse points.
It's not, it's looking good.
You remember that guy that lost his temper and I had to get mad at, and he ended up, because he was going after our staff a little bit at Russellwood one, and he stomped out and stuff. Oddly enough, find out that he don't actually live there. His ex-wife, as the place is there, and he wasn't even supposed to be there.
Perfect.
Yep, I found that out after, because she told me, it's like, really? And he was a jerk. So I had to get on him for a minute, and he stomped out, slammed the door, and
Oh, that's right,
he was a
yeah.
pretty big guy.
Yes.
I was waiting to see if we were
Probably
gonna go
right,
out in the
that's
back afterwards. But he wasn't even a customer.
No.
What a jerk.
No wonder she divorced him.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Oh dear.
The customer service side, I also want to give kudos to Stephanie and her team, because
Yeah.
rolling out new rates, letting people know, walking them through. There's a lot of talking through, here's what your bill actually says, here's how we're calculating this.
Here's some ways to
They-
reduce your consumption.
Yes, they just do a fantastic job, and I am very,
You
very
guys
grateful for their.
I was gonna say,
their
and also
appreciate it.
kudos to the rest of the staff, because when they were angry, one of the things we had going for us is they liked our people.
Yes,
That helps. When you're
Yeah.
pissed off at me and you wanna get mad and stuff like that, but then you say, but your guy is so awesome, we really like him here. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll take that. We're all like that. We're all awesome. Trust me.
trust us. All right, well, with that, we can free you up, and we'll bring back some tier business and make sure that we revamp our utility presentation during our workshop to.
I'm gonna, just, I'm gonna be okay
Match
however you
up to
put it together.
this.
You put it together, you make that happen, we're gonna deal with it.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm not gonna buck it if that's what's up there, just.
okay.
And then just let us know how this affects the
Budget.
budget.
Yes.
That's one of the things I'm gonna run back and do right now.
Right? Quickly, and then Steph gets to go on vacation, a well-deserved, well-earned vacation.
That's cool.
Like, starting this afternoon.
The second.
Yes,
Then she gets to go. I was like, well,
That's
she's
right.
gonna run over and do it
Yeah.
right now.
exactly. All right, anything else?
Oh, no, I've spent plenty of time with these folks
Yes,
in
yeah.
meetings and conversations before this one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate all the time that you spent with me trying to help me wrap my head around it, because there's a lot of wrapping.
There is a lot of wrapping,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Appreciate you guys all so much.
Likewise,
All right.
thank you, commissioners.
We're done.
Oh, Madam Chair, move we adjourn.
Second?
We're adjourned. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Deidre.
Thank you for.